Buff, if you and Tabitha had a divorce today, what would it take for Tabitha to get custody of Jasmine?
What would it take? Nothing. Just
breathing.
Breathing.
Breathing, right?
Just prove she don't smoke crack.
What would it take for you to get custody of Jasmine?
Prove that
I think
Tab smokes crack. That's what he got to do.
Consistently.
And then he still might not get it.
It's not.
She smokes crack. She has to smoke crack. She needs to be.
She literally has to be at the courthouse.
Judgment for Tabitha. She was just experimenting. Sorry, Miss.
So my thing is. What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I'm your boy Furry, joined my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Well, it has been some summer for my one and only child. Just got back from Hawaii. But if you remember about a month ago, we were having a discussion about our kids, actually. And at one point, Ferg said, Buff, what is your daughter doing right now? And I couldn't talk about it at the time, but she finished a couple of weeks ago. And my daughter was a part of the Senate Page program at the Capitol, which, and a lot of people apply for it. So it's so much a privilege that even she realized how much of a privilege. And it kind of gave her an appreciation for it as she worked it, man. But she did 4 weeks, and the evolution of her in those 4 weeks was just so incredible to me. And I think I told her several times, she went from being completely nervous and not wanting to do it to, on her final day, not only was she not wanting to leave, but she volunteered to even work later than her group had to, because she just wanted to savor and soak up those last few hours of being a page. And I'm just so proud of her, man, because she even had a bad day at one point and she overcame it. She did a lot of growing up, and that's what I wanted. We probably, my generation in general, we probably shelter our kids more than past generations at times. And this was like a good dose of real life for her. And she handled it well. And what's up, Ferg? What you got?
It's beautiful that's her dose of real life. Like, just think about what you just said.
But wait.
Think about what you just said. How does Jasmine? How old is Jasmine? How old is Jasmine?
She's 16.
Where were you at working at 16?
McDonald's.
Rozzy, where were you working at 16?
Dale Shaps.
The Shamps, baby. My daughter was a.
I told her that.
Continue.
I said, this is a hell of a first job. I said, because, if I messed up at my first job, somebody was just mad I got the order wrong, didn't get them the right size fries. You messed up. A portion of federal government. Shut down. and that's what made her so nervous. She was like, it's so important. It's so serious here. And it's a lot of, I don't,
for the listeners, can you give a brief synopsis of what a page is?
Because, Ferg, I've been there 20 years now, and I haven't paid the pages hardly any. They're there. Pages, essentially, they have what they call summer pages, and they have semester pages. But they all work for the Senate. They run errands. They make copies of bills, and they set up lecterns for the members right before they speak. They hold the doors open for them during votes. They do a lot of things for the U.S. Senate. And the semester pages, they even go to school during this time because they're there for 3 months. She just realized how important it was. And I think I did for the first time. I've been there 20 years, and it's it took another staffer to really aha it for me. There's a lot of pressure on a 16-year-old to be running important areas for a U.S. senator and things like that. But she caught on so well, man, because they have to learn all of the members. And she did that right away. And I'm just so proud of her, bro. I could go on and on. I don't want to...
I don't
want to take a question amount of time with it, but
that's beautiful.
I definitely wanted to give her props. Just brag on her a little bit, man. Just really brag on her. She did great job, and I'm proud of her.
Well, I'm gonna take a point of personal privilege to brag on you for putting yourself in a position that you can put her in that position. Like sometimes we don't understand. That's why I was smiling so hard when you're saying real life. That ain't real life, man. That's your life that you have built for her, that you have built for your family. That is not the norm. Sometimes you got to sit back and realize this ain't normal.
That's something Rising did. I think you remember it. It was like maybe a year ago. No, it was earlier this year. He was like, "Yeah, we got to record later because Buff had to work Carter's funeral." And Leah was like, "You don't have normal friends." You know what I'm saying? But it's just so like I said, I've been there 20 years, so it's so we're all so used to where I work now. Each of you guys have been up there and visited. It was a really big deal for us, man. So very proud of you, Jasmine, if you're listening to this with your mama in the car. The only other two things I got, man, is you know, black people who voted for Trump. If your plan was for unemployment to go up for black people,
Did it?
yeah, I mean, you did it. I mean, great job. I mean, y'all said Biden never did anything for black people, and black people do better under Trump. So, if doing better under Trump was higher black unemployment, then you succeeded. We're almost a percentage point higher than this time last year, and you know, a lot of black women have suffered too, man. I saw a number somewhere around 300,000 black women have lost their jobs in 8 months. Like that's the crazy thing too. We're only 8 months into this administration, man. So that, and you know, we regularly tell you guys, you know, shows to check out, but Disney Plus has, or I think if you have Hulu, but it's on Disney Plus, by the way. They getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
they,
you know,
they're
have
shutting
Nat,
down Hulu now, so they're
Yeah.
combining it. There won't be any more Hulu. So
they have Nat Geo under their umbrella, and the documentary on Hurricane Katrina is out, and it's directed by or produced by Ryan Coogler, and it's 5 parts. Really, I hate to call it good because it's about a tragic event, but you really get to see. I know we think we probably know everything about Katrina, but I think it was some new stuff in there, and you just reminded of how bad Mike Brown was. Like, if nothing else, Mike Brown was terrible. So, but check it out, man. It's well done. I guess you could say I enjoyed watching it.
nice. Yeah. I mean, I think it's valid to say it was a good documentary, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Because it makes you feel and understand how bad the situation was. So you know, it's the same. No different than kind of talking about a good documentary on World War II or a good documentary on the Civil Rights Movement. It's one of those things that it really gives you a good experience of what happened there. So I agree. I only watched 2 of the parts so far, but from what I've seen, it's really good.
So I don't want to call General Honore. I don't want to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. The only thing that I would have pushed back on, he was like people were shooting in the air to get the attention of the helicopters. That may be true, but that's not an automatic conclusion I would jump to. There are other people getting helicopters' attentions without shooting in the air, but overall, man, I just hated how the whole looting thing was played up. And that may be why I'm so biased when we had that infamous looting is bad episode a long time ago. But I just remember how those people were painted. And we were so much more worried about the shelves in Walmart versus people trying to survive. And if a couple of people, because I don't want to make it seem like 100% people was just taking stuff just to survive. Yeah, you're always going to have idiots in tragedy. You're always going to have people that take advantage. Yeah, there was probably people taking TVs and things they didn't need, but for the most part, people were trying to get formula for their babies, clothes, food, things like that. So I just really hated how they were painted, and being called refugees, that bothered me a lot.
Right. Let's see. So much is going on. Hip Hop and Soul Train Music Awards have been canceled. So BET has announced that they are canceling those. They don't know how long. They didn't say it was going to be forever, but I think it makes sense. They've gone downhill a lot. I don't know if we need to combine them. What? But it comes down to Fat Joe was talking a little bit about it because he hosted, I think, last year, and he was saying that, or the last 2 years, and he was saying that the funding has just been like cut and slashed every year. And so we talked about how ratchet it is, and it was just a ratchet fest. He was like, it's because they didn't have money to do anything else. It was like, hey, I'm going to get these performers, and if the performers didn't put in on it and put some money towards their act, there was no money for anything. So I think BET has just come to the conclusion that they're canceling that, and maybe they'll do something different where they do it online and it's just by streaming or whatever. But again, to do that, they're going to cut the budget even more. And so I think they're just trying to find a sweet spot where the funding can match what they really want to do with the award ceremony and get the ratings that they need to be able to make the money on it. But for right now, no more hip hop music awards and no more Soul Train music awards. So,
am I wrong? What wasn't last year's like good? I think they geared it towards our generation a lot during the show, but I feel like it was good. I know.
Is that the one they did all the? I'm not gonna lie, they started running together to me.
Yeah.
That's not the one they did all the tributes that we talked about a few months.
Yeah, that was it.
That was
Yep. That was the BET. Yeah. That was the Hip Hop Awards.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Now, and to be fair, I think the one from 2 years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago, the one that everybody's like, it's so ratchet, it really was based off like one or two clips. Like, the whole Sexy Red thing, I think they showed her. But the show in its totality was not as ratchet as that clip made it to be. Mm-hmm. Just want to give them a little defense on that.
Yep. Other than that, let's see. We got AT&T. If you are on AT&T, because of their data breaches, they have a lawsuit where you can make up to or get awarded up to $7,500. Anything that you had that negatively affected you because of those data breaches. So if you had identity theft or anything like that, you can put in on that class action lawsuit, and you can get up to $7,500 back on that. Make sure you should be on the lookout for, I guess, what is it, Knoll settlement or whatever. They're the ones that always send those class action things out. So if you get an email from them, it is valid if it's about AT&T. So you can fill out all the documentation, show them that you had to do credit monitoring, whatever you paid for, and you can get up to $7,500 back on that. So I'm going to get my little $150 or whatever it is, because I didn't have anything. But at the same time, I was a part of AT&T. I was part of the leak, and they're going to pay me. So make sure you take a look out for that. The other thing is Fawn Weaver has lost control of Uncle Nearest. So I think it was like $160 million in debt, or the company is, and so the creditors have come and they've taken control of Uncle Nearest and of the organization right now. So we're praying. Hopefully she can get control back, but as of right now, she has lost control of Uncle Nearest.
Now, is she still denying that, or has she come out and say it's true? Because she mentioned this last week and said it's not true. So, I don't know.
All the reports that I've seen, and it came from like AP, and so reputable sources that's saying that she's lost control. So she may have been denying it while she was trying to fight it in the background or whatever. But
I don't know if you were going to mention this, but there's somebody else who said they have some debtors coming after them. I'm going to see if you mention it. If not,
no, you go ahead and throw it in, because that's all I had. So,
well, Umar.
Oh, yeah. Umar, that's cool.
Yo, boy, did he call you first? That's Buff's boy, right?
No, it's not. That's Razi's boy. He calls him doctor. He actually calls him doctor.
Honorable doctor.
Honorable Dr. Umar Johnson. So, for the folks that don't know, he has gone on social media and said that wherever he bought the school, Delaware, yeah. they are auctioning the school off because of unpaid taxes and liens from like utilities and things like that. So maybe he did buy a school and then he just stopped paying the bills on it. So at least we know where the money went from where he bought the school.
But he's asking for money. He's asking for donations to get out of trouble, correct?
Yes. And I know I laugh. So the good about Umar, well, I guess what made him dangerous is he was very knowledgeable about a lot of things, but he would kind of like fill in the gaps where he didn't know how to say he doesn't know what he didn't know.
Right.
Besides his controversial stances on like, interracial marriage and all that stuff and homosexuality. But there are times when he would be talking about the history of things and he would just be flat out wrong about it. But I always I love a good debater. I love someone who can debate and for the most part hit you with facts, which I think he did a lot of the times. He just got some things wrong. And I was rooting for this school, man. I would have loved to have seen the school that he talked about coming to fruition. The problem is, what are we, 13 years now into this? It just became a scam.
Yeah. And because especially for the new listeners out there, they may not know, I sit on a school board and we just closed on a $5 million deal for a new school that we're opening on Thursday. And that happened in a year and a half. So I don't want to say Dr. Umar did know what he was doing, but in a year and a half, I was able to open a school, or purchase a school. We opened the school in 2019, right? And it's been going since then. And so to your point, Buff, I love to see this kind of opportunity for school choice for our kids and for schools to be able to do the things that, you're talking about where it's going to be, African centric and African American centric and friendly to our kids and things like that. But also I think that he was so far to the left, I guess is what you would call it, that or just so far out there that he probably couldn't get a lot. I don't think he could get funding. Like for us, we can apply for a lot of grants, we can do a lot, we get charter school funds, so we get actual funds from the federal government and everything, Title I and all of that. Like we are a full-fledged charter school. And so I think for him, he was basically trying to fund it privately. And I think that's kind of the wrong way. You're not going to be able to fund privately very often, right? Until you get kids in, you got to start small. And so I think he had a really big vision, but it wasn't rooted in kind of operationalizing what he saw, which from what you said, I don't think Dr. Umar is very good at operationalizing anything. I think he likes to talk. He's good at talking, but putting pen to paper and actually making things happen, that's not his forte.
And I'm going to say this too. If it is, because like I say, it looks like a scam. So if it's like finally just flat out proven that it's been a scam all along, and we got to come after some of these platforms that gave him such a large profile. Breakfast Club had him on there numerous times, and a lot of these other podcasts that gave him the platform to put out what I think at times was dangerous rhetoric. When you telling people not to vote, when you telling people certain things, it can be dangerous and harmful, man. So I think they deserve to be called out.
Exactly.
I think that's a whole nother question. How liable are they?
Yeah.
So that was the last thing, Razi?
Yeah, that's it.
He getting sugar and stuff.
So nothing really serious for me, just catching up on things. One of which is, you mentioned a show earlier. It was with the Netflix show, right? It was on Netflix, right? The Katrina? Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. I haven't seen it yet. But speaking of Disney Plus, have you guys watched Eyes of Wakanda yet?
Yes.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
huh? It's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think it's a really good take. No spoilers. I just think there's always been this underlying kind of story going on in any of the Black Panther lore about missing Wakanda artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
And so this kind of ties into that. So the missing Wakanda artifacts and the fact that the war dogs. So it kind of brings that home and gives you a deeper glimpse into that world on a historical aspect and how it all ties in. So I think it's pretty cool.
It's only four episodes. They're like 20 minutes a piece. So yeah. It's a really quick watch.
So I advise people to check it out if you're a fan of any of the Black Panther narrative, the saga, whatever. Introduces all new characters and stuff. So second, speaking of, I brought up Netflix. Have either one of you watched the SEC series?
Mm-mm.
It's actually pretty good. It just gives you to me, an appreciation for SEC football. I don't think any other conference could have a Netflix special like that. Maybe Big Ten, but it's just pretty interesting. It kind of highlights all the teams, and as an Auburn fan, Roll Tide. Nope. And then my whole story about becoming an Auburn fan is just weird, but Roll Tide, War Eagle, like you get it's like they give equal timing and footing to all the teams and their backstories, and you kind of get to see the coaches' mindsets and what the players were doing on the field, because there's a story behind every team, right? I found myself really liking Vanderbilt after this.
Really?
And yeah, like I'm not a Vanderbilt fan, but like their story, they had their pretty much their best season ever, right? Vandy was the laughing stock of the SEC. Most people, if you ask them to name SEC teams, that's where they get stuck. Like Vandy will probably like, ooh, I'm missing some.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Vanderbilt doesn't traditionally fit in the SEC mold. You think about powerhouses. You think of the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Auburns. You know,
Georgia's, yeah.
even Georgia's, hell, even Texas A&M and Texas, Oklahoma. People probably would think of before they think of Vandy.
Yeah.
You know, even when they beat Bama and all that stuff, it's a really good show. I haven't finished watching, but I'm liking it so far. It is hard being an Auburn fan, really is.
It's like being a Cowboys fan.
No, because everybody hates the Cowboys. Nobody really hates Auburn. It's just tough.
Yeah.
So it's
That's a good point.
It's a disappointment with the hate. Like, that's the thing, because I'm a firm believer, you know, only one team can win it all, right? You can talk as much noise. You can get to the AFC Championship. You lost. You didn't make it to the Super Bowl. You can get to the Super Bowl. You lost. The Buffalo Bills, one of the most successful, dominant teams of the 90s, never won a Super Bowl. You know? So at the end of the day, their year was a failure. Nobody hates Buffalo. Like, that's the thing. I would say one of the worst things that could happen to ESPN and the NFL is if the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, because that narrative around them going so long ends. It's like you almost have to have something else to talk about when it comes to NFL.
The Cowboys are the heel, right? Like,
yeah, everybody loves a good heel.
And everything. It's the heel. They win every once in a while, but for the most part, they're there to lose, right? Yeah. They're there to let the good guys win and just be the heel. And I think that's what the Cowboys play. They play their role well.
If you can't cheer, they don't try to play it. No, but you know, I don't feel sorry for him by any means. But it's funny because if you can't root for your team, you can all hate the Cowboys. Hate on the Cowboys. Everybody in the NFL can collectively say we hate this team, right? To me, it's similar to how people hate on LeBron. Is like, dog, he's trash. There's no way this nigga's trash. Like, the dude is one of the best players ever. Maybe number one, maybe top 3, maybe top 5, maybe top 10. Even if he's top 20, you can't say this nigga's trash. If he's top 20 and he's number 20, that means there's only been 19 in the history of basketball, that are better than him in the history. So, you know, but I didn't mean to get on the Cowboys, but being an Auburn fan, even watching the show, it's funny because like, it's hard being an Auburn fan. Like, there's they acknowledge it, but it's a good series. Also, the fact that the owner, you guys heard about Trump Burger. Did we talk about this yet?
No, we haven't. So, but yeah,
the owner of Trump Burger is possibly getting deported.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from like Argentina or something like that.
No,
but
I thought it was like Pakistan or like Poland or something like that. It starts with a P, whatever it is.
Well, whatever it is, it's hilarious to me. You know, it's one of those, hope you have the day you voted for.
You voted for. That's it.
Like, as soon as I saw that, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Buff, are you canceling Martin?
Canceling what now?
You froze.
Martin Lawrence.
No. Oh God, no.
You talking about Ari Lennox?
Yes.
No.
Ari Lennox and her, she's, for those that don't know, she had this comment where a post where she talked about, I don't want to say traumatized, but she can't appreciate Martin because the way he went at Pam and how basically he was disrespecting her for being dark skinned, like coming at her.
She invoked colorism.
Yes.
I made a little veil post about it, and like I clearly made the point that I was not there to argue about it. I just was tired of it. And one of the first comments by a good friend of the show, I know she's listening, but she was like, "Well, just so you know, I agree with her." And I was like, "Yeah, not here to debate that." And I disagree with you, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where I'm at these days, is like we talk about, people's truths, right? Well, he's speaking his truth. She's speaking her truth. At a certain point, is it like, your truth's a lie, right? Like it's
No,
do we have to respect everybody's truth?
Get what Ari and anybody is saying about, he did use like Africanized tropes, right? The nappy hair, he talked about, he did talk about her skin tone a couple times, calling her ugly, calling her manly. Those are things that people use to talk about black people and dark skinned people a lot. The thing was, though, he was saying those things when Pam was badder than Gina. Pam was the most beautiful person probably out of the women on that show. And I think Tommy came and kind of said that a couple times, right? He like called him out on it. And it's one of those things like you call your friends or your sisters ugly or whatever. Like, and I felt like it was more of a friendly banter than it was anything else. Because Martin wouldn't let anybody else talk about Pam.
That part, and also, so in a lot of, forget Ari, people are trying to make the argument that the show, not just Martin, but that the show invoked colorism when it came to going at Pam. When you look at it, Martin was the only one that had jokes for Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else wanted Pam. Tommy wanted Pam. Tommy had Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Cole wanted crazy Pam. About Pam. Jerome wanted Pam.
The brother that took him to the Pistons game with the skybox wanted Pam.
Yep.
Everybody wanted Pam. So you can't say the show was making her out to be like this ugly, black, stereotypical character when the show clearly was telling you this is bad.
Right.
And that Martin is so ridiculous for even making fun of her looks. He's being ridiculous because we all are admitting that she's bad. And it's just so exhausting because we have real deal examples of colorism. And I can't fully agree with you, Fer. I'm not going to say that their truth is a lie. Their truth is their truth. That's their opinion. They're trying to make, where you have credibility, Fergus, they're trying to make their opinion fact. Like people saying, we know for a fact that it was about colorism. No, you feel that way, and you're entitled to feel that way. But I'm telling you, every other thing points to the opposite. Pam, Tashina Arnold didn't feel that way. And all the examples I gave, Rozzy mentioned how Martin wouldn't let anybody else talk about her that way. And I just think it's a reach. And I think we have better definitive examples of colorism than
I get what you're saying, and maybe lie was a strong word. I think it's the point where I guess it's similar to the First Amendment, but we're so big on defending everybody's opinion and right to have opinion that it's kind of like we don't have to acknowledge that we can say this is, like, disagree, or just say like you're like
that is why we can't.
All things point to that you're probably wrong on this. Like
we can't just disagree. Yeah,
like you're like if you're the only one that feels this way,
or even if you're the minority that feels this way, right? Like we said, Ari said it. A couple of listeners said it. They agree. That's the minority when the masses are like, we're not seeing that.
But we're not allowed, because I read some of the comments and people are saying like, we're pretending that we don't see the colorism.
That's my thing. And then they're villainizing you for having your opinion.
They're making it a fact. You're pretending you don't see the colorism and we all know it's there. And it's like, why it can't be you see it? I disagree with it, but for the examples Razio pointed out, the nappy hair and things like that, okay, you feel that way.
I think it made the show funnier just because everybody saw it. Like, BDB, like you're sitting there and you're joking. But like, you'd be like, man, is it Pam bad? Like you sitting like, am I tripping? And it was funny. It was part of the show. The what made the show so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It can be like, you know what? They're always down a black man. Tommy didn't have a job and Cole was stupid. They were attacking black men. Martin had an attitude and it was short. The show was really down here to put black men down. I was like, dude, what are we talking about? Like, it's always, and sometimes in comedy, you have the freedom to be free. I don't know. It was just funny. And then she doubled down on it again.
Her enemy is Shanae on there. And what did Shanae make fun of? Her shoes, the way she dressed. She ain't go. So like that, they easily could have had that character bring us some of that stuff.
Like you said, I felt like it would have been colorism if everybody did that to her.
Yeah.
Like if everybody on the show, if she was the angry black woman with that nappy headed and that's when I think it would have been colorism versus Martin jonesing on her and her coming back at him about being short and about being, broke sometimes.
Gina got the light skin jokes more than anybody.
Yeah.
Big head. Also, like it was always everybody had. The thing about it, you had to make up stuff about Pam, right? Martin was short. He had big ears.
Everybody was in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one
bad attitude. Gina light bright, Sididdy stuck up. Tommy ain't got no job. Cole, you stupid, Cole. Cole, you stupid. Right? Like it's everybody had their part. You look at Pam like, all right, what we got? Man, we just gotta say she ugly, dog. Let's just move on to the next thing. Like
she had a good job. She was pretty.
Yeah, like you had to make up something about her, right? So let's keep it. I didn't mean to go on it, but it was just hilarious that's been getting so much because I saw your initial post and I thought it was dead, and then Tashina Arnold came back and basically said there was things in the show that they wanted Martin to say, and he was like, absolutely not. He would not cross a line to do anything. And we don't know if those jokes were disrespectful or whatever, maybe seen disrespectful, but they did. He didn't do it. And then she doubled down. Like I still believe what I believe. But last but not least, I always look at things in the time period they were. You gotta respect where you were and where we were in life. Like so many things are cancel culture worthy today that were all the rage 10, 20, 30 years ago. Right?
All right. You sounded like Christopher Columbus on PragerU. So I don't know if y'all saw that.
No, I'm just saying, like, but you just got you normalize things. There was when light skin was in, it was a time period, and so I don't know. Let's keep the party going.
No, and for the listeners out there, the joke was about PragerU. Trump is trying to cancel PBS, and they're trying to replace it with PragerU. PragerU has a video out there that has Christopher Columbus saying that slavery wasn't that bad, and that you got to look at the time period, and slavery was all around everywhere, and so you can't really judge me and make me a bad person because I enslaved people, because that was kind of what it was during the time period, and that is what they're trying to replace PBS with, is PragerU to be able to do that. And so if PragerU is on your timeline and it's giving you facts, I just want you to know you probably need to unfollow them, because a lot of it is super right wing, like conspiracy theory almost type of stuff. So just want to throw that out there.
Yes, sir. Froze. Okay.
Oh, I had a call and then a random text message behind it. So,
okay. Are you good? Everything straight? Okay. No, it's funny because it was like you didn't move or anything. You looked.
Yeah, I was like.
Yeah. All right. School has started. Sophie got a joke for us?
Oh, let me check. She should.
Tell her she's been slacking.
Jokes.
Triumphant return.
I'm back, guys. And it's Afro Sophie, too. Our favorite.
Hey, it's Afro Sophie. You better pick your Afro Sophie, 'cause it's flat. Come on.
I have a joke now.
I'm with you. I'm ready.
Okay. Why did the jelly bean go to school? To become a smarty.
What?
Because Smarties are candy.
Yeah,
and so are jelly beans.
It's like dun.
Never would have got that.
I
Stumped us on that one.
I know. I'm so good at jokes.
Bye, Afro Sophie.
Afro Sophie will return.
She got to ramp back up. Folks.
What we cried last night? Who didn't get a question?
I think
everybody had a question.
Yeah, everybody did.
Oh, they sure did.
So, who wants to jump it off? Who wants to go first?
Let me start this thing off, man. Have you gentlemen watched the Sha'Carri Richardson airport video?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Ferg, you said no. Basically, it not only shows what she did, but it shows her interaction with police. And basically, at one point, she tries to get him arrested as well, despite the footage showing her assaulting him. She's like, well, he assaulted me and y'all need to arrest him, while also simultaneously like pleading for him to say that nothing happened and things like that. So it was just a whole lot of that as they walked her all the way outside. she must have said, "Are you serious?" I'm not exaggerating. She must have said, "Are you serious?" like 27 times.
At one point, she was like, "You're arresting me. He's the man. Like women can't assault guys."
And so, I mean, it's no need to really debate the bad look that was. But she's had very little fallout. She hasn't had any fallout. As far as I can see, she hasn't had any fallout. I haven't seen any companies run for her, anything like that. So my first question is an easy one. It's pretty much an obvious one. Is there a double standard when it comes to women assaulting men? And the follow-up question is because I feel like, and we still have work to do, but I feel like we've made progress when it comes to toxic masculinity and patriarchy and things like that. I think we've made progress. Will this always be seen as the double standard it is? Or will we ever come around and say, hey, it doesn't matter if who hits who. If the woman hits the man, it's just as bad as if the man, because if he had done exactly what she did to him, I don't even know this brother's name, but I'm sure I would know it now. You know what I mean? So, will we ever see a change in this double standard?
No.
Why not?
There's no benefit to it. There's no benefit. It only benefits men. That's the answer. That's the answer.
Why?
It only benefits men. Why would women feel the need to fight for this? Right? It's one of those things where it's like we can fight for this level of equality, but it would only benefit the man because we would be held just as responsible. There is no benefit to a woman potentially being on equal footing when it comes to an aggressor. It's she can hit me, and the narrative and social narrative is going to be, well, he's a man, he's stronger. What did he do? Deserve this? It's always going to be that. There's no benefit to women like, well, you know, if you put your hands on him, you're going to jail. Full stop. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And just to interrupt, like I think that caught her off guard.
I know it did.
Like everything she couldn't believe it.
Yes, because
she's like, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. She couldn't believe it.
And that's the thing. There's if this had to happen, like, oh yeah, by the way, executive order, hey, if you put your hands on a man, you're just as liable. Whoever who hits who first is going to jail. The other person is self-defense. Full stop. So she hits you, you beat the shit out of her, she's going to jail because of self-defense. And there's not a single benefit to that.
I mean, guys will have to fight for that, and I think.
And then you're a punk. You're a punk ass dude for fighting for that. No man should put his hand on a woman.
I'm glad you said that, Rising, because I was going to ask him that too. Like, so do men?
No, because because anytime a man defends that, he's a punk ass nigga. I don't know, kind of even men. Like, dog, I don't know how you were raised. You just soft, dog. Like, man, ain't none of a woman getting like it's. There's no win in for men for fighting for that.
Right. So and that's I think we will get there. Not anytime in our lifetime, but a few generations. It'll be the same time that we don't need DEI anymore. So that's, I think, when it'll happen. So when I talked about when we don't need DEI anymore, that's when we have 50% of women in high-level executive roles, 17% of Black people. I really feel like once we get to the point where women are on equal footing with men and they're fine with going 50-50 because they make the same amount as us and everything else, that's when that'll happen, where it's like domestic violence, right? And we can actually go after it. Will it happen anytime soon? No. Will it happen in our lifetime, our kids' lifetime, maybe even a generation after that lifetime? Probably not. But eventually, at some point, I do think it's going to happen, because I do feel like as women are getting the rights and benefits and everything else, as they start to find that equal footing the same way white people came back with that white lash, I feel like men are going to come back with that backlash of, well, you have all these equal rights, yada, 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 so you can't just go off and hit me anymore. You're going to jail now. And so I feel like that's what's going to happen, is it's going to be men pushing back on the things that we have, like, because we've lost our benefits and our male privilege. So we're going to make them start losing their female privilege. And so it's going to take that, where that male privilege is gone, before we can actually get them there. But it's going to be a while. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
No, I want the next question, because my question is a perfect follow-up. My question's a perfect follow-up.
Okay.
I literally had this question lined up, and I'm like, I didn't want to go there, but your question is so
full disclosure, I applied the double standard. My very first thought when I heard about this story was, oh, all she did was push them? Huh. Like that was my, like, yeah. That's how conditioned I am.
They tripping. Like, you almost defended her. Same thing. I heard about it. Like, it's because now you're like, because she a black woman. Like, you're sitting there like, no, she attacked this dude. Like, you're trying to find a way to make it right.
Mm-hmm. So, obviously there is a double standard, and I don't know if we'll ever see it, because I don't even know how many men agree that. I mean, I think there are a lot of men that's like, come on, man. I've even said, like, I probably won't Deontay Wilder a woman unless she spits on me or hits me in my face
with a balled up fist, right? Like, even if she slapped me, I'm probably not gonna come back.
But like punching me in my arms or my chest, I feel like I can defend that, and that's not the right way to look at it. Mm-hmm. Nobody should be putting their hands on you, period. But like, even as a man, I'm like, but I can take that. And I think that's how so many men are conditioned. Can you take it? Like, okay, she pushed you. Are you hurt? Did you get injured? Okay, well then, don't worry about it. But on the flip side, you pushed her. Come on downtown, man. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Putting your hands on that, and she's small. You're putting your hands on this little ass woman, man. What's wrong with you? So it just, I brought this up because it was funny to me that I even had that initial reaction, like, she just pushed him? All right. Then it's like, wait a minute. Wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was a male athlete and the same prominence that she has, because I don't even, no disrespect to him, I don't even know him, but a prominent athlete like she is, putting his hands on a woman, this dude would have lost a couple of endorsements. Maybe not Nike, because Nike is ride or die for a lot of their athletes, but I think she's like with Bose or Beats and Sprite and a whole lot of other
you got to understand though, a lot of them signed her after her marijuana stuff, so she's already kind of the bad kid or whatever. So
but that should make her on thin ice.
I don't know. I mean, you think about Rodman, right? When Rodman was the bad guy or whatever.
Oh, Ferg get frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, what are we talking about? She pushed the dude. Like, what's the big deal? There's no story here. That's what it is.
Yeah,
let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Nike would face more backlash for canceling her for that.
And to follow up, if she had just pushed him, I still don't think anything would happen. What happened was she pushed him twice, and then she threw her headphones at him. Mm-hmm. And probably just the whole making. I think if she pushed him one time,
what did he do to piss her off?
That's the question.
That's the age-old question, right? Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. He had to do something.
That's the narrative. That's just what it is. There's no story here, fellas. There's no story here.
And that's why I'm not sure we'll ever see the end of the double standard.
Dun-dun, the follow-up. Let's fast forward to Razi's make-believe land. There is equality. Man. What does equality look like for men and women? And what are the benefits of both for each sex?
Okay, yeah.
I kind of had a conversation with Z about this the other day. What does equality really look like? Because this is the true, and I'll give you.
So I think a follow up to that is, I think we all know what equality looks like. I don't
tell me.
No.
Tell me what it looks like.
I mean, what we talk about all the time, right? Equality, true equality means that men and women are on equal footing, right?
Mhm.
You can go get a job. Either one of y'all can get a job. Whoever has a meritocracy, right, where whoever is best suited for that role, they can get it. Y'all are making equal money if y'all doing equal jobs, right? Or both of y'all are raising the kids together 50-50 or whatever, y'all are bringing in the same amount or whatever in the house, and so y'all doing the same thing. He's cooking just as much as she is, and then going into the legal aspects of it, right? Y'all get a divorce, y'all split it down the middle, or it's not even no alimony, nothing like that. Y'all, you go your way, I go my way. Is you hit me, you go to jail. I hit you, I go to jail, right? It's all of that. I think that's true equality. But I don't think, and women, a lot of women have problems with feminists because feminists want that vision for true equality. And women don't want that. Most women don't want a true equal. They want equal when they want it, and they want to be able to still have gender roles and be able to be taken care of and
You're
everything
projecting,
else.
Rising. You don't know what women want. Tell me the benefits.
How,
What benefits do women get? What benefits do men get from
Yeah.
equality?
And so that's the problem. Men don't get anything. They're going to lose benefits on it.
Okay.
That men, I mean, I mentioned that, right? Men are going to lose their male privilege. So men don't get anything from true equality other than maybe some help, right? So because if women feel equal, they're going to do that 50-50. Maybe you get a little bit of relief on the whole having to provide and protect standpoint, right? You get that. I don't feel like it's on me. If we lose the house, they're going to say Z and Ferg lost the house. They're not going to just say Ferg lost the house, right? So I think that's where men get that benefit on that side. Women get that benefit of being able to go in and get equal pay, being able to not, be the one that's like, I don't know if I want to hire her because she might get pregnant and be out for 4 months or whatever. And so, and that actually happens. Like that, it's been shown. There are men that think that right way. Like women will get better opportunities. They'll be able to get jobs better. They'll be able to get that equal pay, right? They'll get the promotions, even though they have to take off when they, give birth, that type of thing. That's what'll happen if you get it. So women are going to come up if they can, if we have true equality there. I mean, they're going to get a lot more pressure, right? But again, I think they're still going to come up and be in a better position for true equality. Guys are going to lose in it. That's just what it is.
equality looks like, I guess it will finally be men's night at the club sometimes. Maybe we'll get in before 10 with free drinks. We'll get out of more tickets, traffic violation tickets.
Show a little skin.
Yeah, we'll get a little pretty privilege. And I guess the other benefit for men would be, I guess, not seen as dangerous. I don't know. But for women, I mean, it's more upside for them, but it's just as much downside. If we're talking about true equality, something we never talk about is men get locked up at a higher rate than women. So if we're talking true equality, we're talking about you guys getting arrested just as much as men at a higher clip.
In sentencing.
Yeah, you guys, and I have to bring this up again. I think I'm the only one on the show. I think the gender gap is not as wide as always reported.
I agree with you.
Women routinely pick lower paying jobs. In addition to, they like to choose to have families versus men. But that's a different topic. But yeah, the whole locked up thing. That's a lot of downside. There's gonna be more women bricklayers. It's gonna be more of those jobs that don't hardly any of them want to do. If we're talking equality, more of you guys are gonna have to work those jobs now. You're gonna have to be out there paving those roads and all of that good stuff. That's equality right there. No more pretty privilege either. No more getting out of certain situations because you're attractive. None of that matters.
Yeah, I got a homegirl that works on a construction site, and she says she literally doesn't have to do anything because anytime she picks up anything like that, like two dudes will come over there and be like, "I got that. You ain't got to carry that." Or
Because
whatever.
they're real
Like
men.
she's literally like, "I'm never leaving this job because I'll be sitting in the car half the day because they like, you ain't got to do nothing." And so she's like, "I love it." So
You'll see more men in daycares. I think a lot of, especially new parents, don't want a man changing the diapers of their babies or whatever. Like there are not a lot of men in childcare compared to women. So now you got to hire. So now we all have to be more comfortable with men dealing with our toddler kids. and things
Yeah.
like that.
I think there will be more advantages. Well, equality 50-50. Not just in pay, like when bills and stuff like that, expenses and expectations. It's across the board. Like I like how Buff worded it with, the jobs that women don't want or they don't look for. The things, some of the things that the tough jobs and stuff like that. That's the expectation. I agree with you as well, Buff, that the gender gap is not as wide as we think it is. Yes, there's some instances, where,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna, just like with the race, like there's some instances where people aren't getting jobs because of race. There's some jobs where they're choosing other people. That is just human nature. That is unacceptable. I'm not condoning that, but the gap is not as wide as we think it is. There are women who that do the same role as men that are making just as much. And you hounded us on this. We had this conversation a couple of years ago about it's the career selection, it's the job choices, it's the fact that men are going out making more money because they're expected to make more money as the breadwinner, the expectation. So that 50-50 is 50-50, right? And so 50-50 to me also means a coin toss in life. Buff, if you and Tabitha had a divorce today, what would it take for Tabitha to get custody of Jasmine?
What would it take? Nothing. Just
Breathing.
Breathing,
right?
Just prove she don't smoke crack.
What would it take for you to get custody of Jasmine?
Prove that
I think
Tab smokes crack. Like, that's what he got to do.
Consistently.
And then he still might not get it.
It's not.
She smokes crack. She has to smoke crack. She needs to be.
She literally has to be at the courthouse.
Judgment for Tabitha. She was just experimenting. Sorry, Mr.
So my thing is, and the reason I bring that up, Rozzy, you're doing a spectacular job as a parent, right? You're raising 2 kids on your own, and you've been blessed to have somebody else to come in your life and help you and assist you and help you grow with that. But we can do it. Like men can do it, right? It's those things. It's the fact that 80% of divorces are filed by women, because when it comes down to it, and nobody wins in a divorce, but when you look at most of the time, they're going to keep more of the life that they're used to with the kids and the possibly the house and those things, additional funding and all that. Those are things that are happening. Like Buff said, hey, this didn't work out. We about to go to court and see who's going to get the kid. I make more money than you. So like, what is the determination that you get the kids over me? I don't smoke crack. I have a good job. I've been a father just as long as you've been a mother. Right? That's equality. Equality is we get the divorce. Like you said, we're walking away scot-free. We're like, those, to me, the rare occasion, I think the top percentage of women would probably see some more benefits. But the average person is not applying for a CEO job. Like you shoot for the stars, right? If you work at Walmart and I work at Walmart and we're both cashiers, you make $17, $15 an hour. I make $17, $15 an hour. We're starting off the same thing. You're not going to get the job at Walmart because you're about to get pregnant. Go look at the national average, what people make. That's the real world we're talking about. But either way, whether that CEO gets divorced or that cashier at Walmart gets divorced, that man's probably not going to get his child, right? And so we're talking about equality when it comes down to not the extremes, the real stuff that happens. Would women want to be responsible for all the bills? Would, hey, you need to put in, and this is my personal belief in some of the things I've seen when there's a divorce, women kind of dictate the divorce thing, right? Like it's men stay, they say, the narrative, men choose family over happiness, women choose happiness over family, right? When it comes to divorce, because they'll leave and all the stuff. But hey, you know what? If I'm not happy, I can leave and still have my family. It's cheaper to keep it, doesn't apply anymore. It's true equality to me. Yes, we'll lose male privilege, but that male privilege only gets you so far. That male privilege is for a lot of the elite, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. It's not for the elite. So you talked about those two cashiers at Walmart. All right, statistically, that guy is going to get promoted to the supervisor or the manager before that woman will.
Is it because they're trying, or is it because, like you said, there's things when I was starting out, I know I had to make moves because I needed to be the person who can try to raise a family.
I mean, it could be any of that, right? But I'm just saying that statistically, that's what's going to happen.
But is it statistically because
that's why you start to see as you go into management, senior management, higher levels, women start to weed out. And so it could be that, like you said, I chose family. I had to take time off, right? I'm out because of maternity leave, whatever it is. But what we're saying is and that's why a little bit of that gender pay gap. So even when you talk about in the same industry, right, a lot of times males are the ones that get promoted into the higher level jobs. They get higher promotions and they get higher raises. So a lot of times. So, I mean, I always say I had to do these studies inside of my company, right? Like I literally had to say, hey, you have two performers that y'all rated the exact same, right? You said both of those folks were exceeds expectations for the last 5 years, but for some reason you gave that guy 6.5% average per year, and you only gave her 4.5%. Like I literally had to see that, and so these are things that happen all the time. Where and it might be that the woman didn't go to the after hour spot right after work. She didn't go have drinks with the guy because she had to go home to her kid, while the guy was able to go and hang out with the senior managers and do the little networking and stuff.
I think you're back talking about the cream of the crop.
No,
you started off talking about two.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about
cashiers having drinks with each other.
Yeah, like
that's not.
No, but I'm not talking about cashiers having drinks, but cashiers, they hang out together, right? Like, so sometimes
I'm not head cashier because I didn't go out to Davenport's with somebody.
Right. That happens. That like
I mean, I don't know the life of Walmart cashiers, but
and nothing against Walmart cashiers. In case we have any listeners,
those cashiers, they sometimes they hang out. You know, you talk about restaurants and everybody will go hang out after a shift or whatever. Everybody goes, or they go and have drinks, or they'll go to the club, like the industry nights and stuff like that. Like certain people go, some people don't.
Because of prioritization. Like,
yeah,
I think you're talking about. Well, I was gonna say, I think you're talking about a younger, less responsibility worker versus people with families. People with families ain't hanging out.
And the thing about it, it's
the guys do it more often than women,
but because it's strategic.
That's what I'm saying.
It's strategic.
But
and the thing about it is
all of that matters. So when we're
so you're checking a hidden box. You're checking a hidden box. That's part of the game. Part of the game is networking. And if you choose, like, we both have families, equality now. We both have families.
Inequality. We both can do it.
So can this woman do this? Can she go to the happy hour?
She can, as long as she has that support system. Her husband's letting her and everything like that. Or like the husband's like, yeah, babe, go. I got the kids. And so a lot of times, because of society right now, that doesn't happen. There are a lot of guys that be like, I shake your head. You shake your head. No, but you got to think, we're not the norm. You probably wouldn't do that. Most of the people in your circle might not do that. But there are plenty of guys out there that's like, my wife's going to get off work and she need to come in and watch these kids. No, you can't go out and hang out with the guys from the office or whatever. You can't go hang out with those. Like that happens, dog. And so what ends up happening is she doesn't get looked at. Right? We always talk about it. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And so if you're there and you show up for work and you do a good job and you leave, and we tell guys this all the time, right? When we're mentoring, we tell guys the exact same thing. You going, showing up, doing a good job will not get you promoted. You going and doing a good job will not get you the highest raise. It's that other stuff. It's those boxes that you're talking about. And so that's what ends up happening. So that's where that pay gap comes in. Even when we're talking about promotions, we're talking about levels, we're talking about even in the equal, it happens, and that's where
that's a privilege. Like, to me, a privilege is something that's given.
And I need to say, I don't think that's what it is.
And I think
Razi's example is a lot less than the examples I'm talking about, where the fields that people choose dictate. And they're also including like women that don't even work in that statistic. That happens a lot more than Razi's example, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah. Will we see more stay-at-home husbands? I love my family.
I hope so.
I love my family. but there's a pressure that we all feel, right? If you knew that, hey, for the rest of your life, y'all 50-50, how easy would life be if you get to do 50-50?
For guys.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying women have it easy. I'm not saying that. There would be some things men would have to adapt. Men might have to become more, but and that's another thing. Like I think we've joked about it a couple of times where the way Z raises and does things with the kids and the way I do things towards the same goal are completely different. It might be 4 steps with me. It might be 18 steps with her. Right? Like I woke them up. I told them to wash their face, brush their teeth, be downstairs. But you want to do this, and this, and you made sure you cut the crust off the bread. Like, here's a sandwich, eat it. Right? Like, if you don't like crust, guess what? You can pull the crust off. But guess what? I'm not going to do. I'm not about to cut the crust and put a note in there. I'm not going to do that. Right? Is it nice? Yeah. Is it cool? It shows a little extra attention. Yeah, I appreciate it. But you didn't have to do that. Right? So I think I'm trying to think of, I will say maybe some pay equity. I'll give you pay equity, right? Because that pay equity is needed because guess what we about to do moving forward? We going 50-50. Right? So think about it. I was reading something the other day and it was just someone on the highway. He was some post. This woman just talking about she was diabolical. She found out her husband was cheating on her with like 3 different chicks. Like he was trash. But the way she manipulated and like started taking money out the bank account slowly but surely. He was waiting on a family settlement check and all this stuff. And man, she got him fired. She ruined this dude's life. But it was applause, right? Like she's funneling money out of his accounts. We talk about that double standard. So when she filed for divorce, he had nothing. Nothing. Girl, you should write a book, da-da-da. Dude would have did that, nigga, you are trash. For her to be sleeping with 3 different dudes, you had to have done something. You weren't laying down. Like, it would have been a whole narrative on why she is the victim here, especially since she got left with nothing. I'm willing to give her some. It's gonna be tough. I'm willing to give some of that male privilege you're talking about, Razi. I really, I really want us to work towards equality, and if we don't work towards equality, at least acknowledge the things that we have, acknowledge the discrepancies, to acknowledge those things. Like, hey, you know what? I understand that the expectation of women to rear the kids is greater than it is for men. I get that, right? Don't acknowledge that we can still take care of our kids. It's just not the way it's not with the detail that you want,
Right.
I'm not cutting the crust over.
And I feel like how guys and men take care of their kids and raise their kids is needed.
Yes, that's another thing that goes unmatched. I mean, that goes unspoken. Buff, I feel like you wanted to say something.
I was gonna say, once again, it's one of those shows where we really could have used some women.
Mm-hmm. We can bring them in. We can bring them in. We can bring this.
Let's get some women in next week.
I would love to have this conversation because my thing is, and it sounds like I'm not trying to attack women by any means. I want to have the conversations like unprovoked and just be real. Like let's peel back the onion and talk about the real things that we can, we both have it rough. Men have it rough, women have it rough. But so many times we acknowledge one side of that story. And so sometimes I'm defending men because like until you acknowledge this is why some of these things are happening. If equality, just take everything else. If equality in the court system were equal for divorce court, do you think more men would initiate divorce?
Probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're just as, like, women make it seem like they're the only person unhappy in marriages. Guys are miserable. If you're unhappy, most likely he's unhappy. Right? But part of the leverage is you can continue to make him unhappy because the chances of him filing for divorce, because once again, 80% of divorces are filed by women, are lower. So he's willing to deal with this misery because he doesn't want to go through a divorce. If he knew that, like, if we all knew, like, you know what? Once you cross this line, you can get a divorce too, and there's nothing protecting you.
And I think our default settings, which means it's not obviously we all vary. But I think a man's default setting is just to put up with it, just deal with it. And a woman's default setting is to speak up. If you ain't happy about, that's why all those little funny posts about when his order is wrong, he won't say nothing, but his girl gonna speak up for, hey,
yeah,
because their default setting is to speak up. Like, this ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Come fix this.
Right.
And a man is like, all right, I'll take the pickles off myself.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because we realize life ain't perfect. It is what it is. You paid for this food, and I appreciate the women that do that. Sometimes when it's done right, like don't make the same. Like,
well, I think a lot of times guys look at how big of a headache it is to send it back and all of that. It's like we weigh that, right, with worth our time and energy to do this, because we have to deal with
risk assess.
Right, we risk assess. Women don't care. It's like, I don't care. We got to stay here another 30 minutes for them to fix this. We're gonna order.
And let me talk to the manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
like, I don't even want to deal with that tonight.
But I think that's kind of how we're taught. And I will say that, hey, you've done the studies on pay equality and equity, so I'll yield to that, right? There's that pay.
Yeah. And
job.
Like,
so let's talk about
Buffett and all of the other things are there. Like, I'm not saying that it's, that I think it's 87 cents or 80 per dollar for men. It may be where you strip out all of that Buff's talking about, and it ends up being 95 cents or 94 cents. So I agree there. It's not as wide as everybody. They're using that number because it's the biggest number they can.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
You're just saying what you say, it happens.
Right.
Like, women are still being overlooked.
Yeah, and I think about it is there's what happens, and then I think I'm talking about more so the norm, the day to day. The hiring rate is 7.15, right? And there's certain things that will probably get you promoted before the next person. Are you checking all the boxes, or are you not worried about checking the boxes? But
even at the 7.15, most guys won't start at the set. Now we're talking minimum wage. Yes, everybody's starting the same, right? Yeah, but if there is wiggle room in that, guys will counter more often than women will. So I may offer you, $12, and you might come back $12.50, $12.45, where the woman might say, I'll take the 12. So even at starting salaries for, say, a teller or something like that, you still have a little bit of that. So all those little things add up.
But is that male privilege, or is that like a skill set because of the responsibility? Is that part of, like, I gotta get as much, I gotta try to get as much. Like, if she would have counted,
I think it's taught.
I'm gonna go into my study.
If she counted at 12,
women are generally more agreeable than men.
Yeah, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with that. So what I'm saying is, if that woman counted, because I deal with some boss chicks, I deal with some women that it was a woman that taught me how to counter, right? So my thing is, if she countered to that 12.50 because she have got that 12.50, is it male privilege? Is it male privilege to counter, or is it like, oh, my man gonna let you know we offered her 12, but we gonna give you 12.50, right? So once again, it's another tactic, another check that this person did, right? So if, hey, we're gonna. Starting salary is 12. Well, I really, they were talking about $13 at Target.
But
if you meet me at 12.50,
the privilege comes.
I can't see that working against women too. I can see that working.
The privilege comes from how they're raised, right? So I get what you're saying. It's guys are raised to be a little bit more combative, be a little bit more assertive and everything. Women are raised to be a little bit more submissive, not, like you said, be more aggressive. So when we talk about privilege, it's not necessarily. I'm gonna let
it slide. But
like,
I see where he's going with that. I don't think we're raised that way. We're raised that way as a necessity. Out of necessity,
whatever it is, but
that's not a privilege. It's not a privilege.
Society has done that, man. So that's where you have that privilege. You're telling me you were raised that way.
No, it's not.
Like that was instilled in you as a boy, and it was not instilled in the girls as much.
So the installation is, hey, there's more pressure on you, so you need to go get it. That's privilege. You're telling me, hey, you need to go make as much money as you can because a real man can support a woman, so you need to get 50 cents more because you're the breadwinner and everything falls on you. Is a privilege? That's not a privilege.
At 12 and 12.50, they're not thinking about that.
But what I'm saying is, men are asking for more money because the expectation is for us to be the providers. A large part of it is to be the provider, so we gotta go get it. some women are more agreeable because they don't that same pressure for provision when they're in a relationship or marriage, and like, because there's single women out here going to get it, whatever. And a lot of single women have more of that aggressive personality because they have to go and provide for themselves, right? So when you're under the protection of a Rising and a Buff, 12 or 1250 really don't matter, does it?
My man got 2 jobs. I don't need this, right? Like that.
But I can't say that. My woman got 2 jobs. I don't need this. Nigga, you're a bum. You are a bum. Once again, Tashina Arnold, right? That's the thing. Is the privilege is, to me, it's maybe it's male privilege to go ask for more, but maybe it's privilege not to have to ask for more, right? Like, I'm agreeable because I'm good. The money makes you have to go after it.
I think in this day and age, women have to go after it too, but they aren't taught from a young age to go after it like that. It's changing. It's changing. Our generation's doing a better job, and I think the next generation will do a better job. But you think about how we were raised by our parents. Our girls weren't taught that.
I'm gonna save some of my arguments for when we have women on, because I have a rebuttal to that.
Yeah, nobody taught me that, but I'll let you live in your truth, Razi.
No,
and I have my opinion.
I think if we're talking about stereotypical roles, women are better suited to negotiate. But I think where Razi is right is that it can work against them. But I think women are better suited to negotiate because women usually do handle the finances of the house. They do the shopping. They're looking for, when they go buy the groceries, who has the best prices, on this and that. So they're used to thinking, what's a better deal? The problem is if they go in there and say, well, hey, I think I should get 14. And then that company says, no, we're not going to pay you that. Because in the back of their mind, I ain't want to hire your ass anyway. So I'd rather pay a man the 14 than to pay you that. And I do think that's when it can work against women. That's when the privilege comes in. I think they do. I think they can negotiate. It's just that a company may say, hey, why would I pay you this when I may have to deal with you getting pregnant and when you have kids and they get sick and things like that? This man, I know he's going to be here every day, so I'd rather pay him that. And that's probably where it works.
I can agree to that. I agree to that. I think, and that's part of the I don't want to say roles, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like you as women are more the nurturers, traditionally more the nurturers, and more the people who have to take care of the kids and stuff like that. A lot of times men can't afford to take off because you still got to go get it. You got to go get that $14 because she only makes 12. Right? It's a thing. It's not one person's better than the other. It's just acknowledging that you're saying, like, we're taught that. I don't think we're taught to negotiate. We're taught we need to go make money. Point blank.
Right,
Is that a privilege? It's like you need to go make money.
We're taught to be assertive. We're taught to, like, when I say assertive, countering is being assertive. Countering is going out and getting it, like and being that. Most girls aren't taught that. They're not raised to be that. They're not molded that way. And so there are girls that are. There are girls that just get it naturally, right? They just are assertive.
Women.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to stop calling them girls.
Women. Yeah, but it's. I do think that there are exceptions to that, but we're talking about in society as a whole, women aren't taught that, right? They aren't taught to go out and be that assertive and counter. We talk about it. Black people weren't taught that, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Black people were taught that. So white privilege is a little bit of that too. We talk about that like just this generational privilege of, hey, you were in these situations, so they were taught them to do that. They felt comfortable doing that. Black people were just happy to get the job, and so they didn't counter because, like, oh, you're offering me, I'm taking what you offer me because I'm happy to get the job. And that's the same thing with women. Women are like, I'm happy to get the job because you overlooked those guys that were out there. So that's another reason why they don't counter. So those same reasons Buff talked about is a reason why they don't counter. That is privilege. So it's not necessarily that they're taught to negotiate. It's the privilege of, I am a male, gives me a little bit of leverage and makes me feel comfortable that I can go ahead and counter. And I'm not going to get overlooked because of that. Same way a white person probably feels way more comfortable with countering because they're not going to get overlooked because they're white or because they're black or
I can
because they're
accept
a
that.
woman.
I can
or
accept
whatever.
that.
Like all of that makes a huge difference when you're talking about negotiating and everything. And you can negotiate all the way down to even minimum wage, right? Very rare minimum wage, but if they're paying anything over that $9, $10 or whatever, you can get your extra 15 cent, your extra 25 cent. And a lot of times they'll still pay that.
Agreed. I agreed. I think part of it, like I said, to me, it's also out of necessity. Like it's not a either or. I think there's a bit of both.
It's a little
But like,
all
and I
that in
think
there. Yeah.
that's my thing is when you use privilege. I think that was a word that was kind of throwing me off a little bit because it's like you're like, well, we're taught that a woman taught me this. Shout out to Portia, like taught me to go in there and ask for more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like, well, and I think I'm a pretty aggressive, like I can do what I need to do, but
I mean, but we know
it
Portia's a nigga.
it's not something like that I was taught like you go in there and da da da. It was more so like I need to make more money. Let me show you how to make more money. Was the thing. Because the end goal, the pressure, when you were talking about the privilege, my male privilege, the pressure came, huh? Yeah, but the pressure came from the fact that I needed to make more money because I was the man. The responsibility, the financial responsibility was on me. And so what can I do? If it's leaving a job, if it's getting, if it's asking for money, there's something about me. And to say there's a privilege that comes with that. I agree with the the white, the white and the racial aspect of it. But part of it is a lot of times I feel like men are obligated to go out and do more to get more money, right? Because there's out of necessity or societal expectations, they have to, right? And so, but I think
that
we're at
pressure's definitely on.
I think that's why I was fighting the privilege. Like it's privilege that got to have to have more responsibility. So I need more money.
Both. Your necessity and society gave you that privilege because of that necessity. So like that, I think that's a little bit of it.
But and I guess in the last part of this is because I can try to negotiate. My goal of negotiation is not guaranteed, but the expectations are going to always be there. So I think that's where I was pushing back. I'm like, well, I can ask for an extra dollar and they can tell me no. I still got to be the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. That ain't no privilege. Like they might give you 50 cents. Like, oh, that ain't what I want. Regardless of the fact, my responsibilities are still the same. Women make more money. Let's do this 50-50 thing. Baby, you good. I ain't talking about you. I got it. But, I'm just saying in general, like I want us to acknowledge what we have. I want us to acknowledge what each party is doing. Women who are raising families and doing their part and men who are doing their part to keep us together. There's not enough acknowledging what each party is doing and how each person plays a part in the success of their marriage or their lives, and it's, if you're complaining so much, you want him to be home because you don't want him going out to these dinners. Okay, pay more of the bills so he don't have to go out to the dinners and pay more money.
Right.
But with that being said, Buff, let's go ahead and close it on out.
Just a few things. The comments I saw on War of the World was just so intriguing. Just it getting a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. It just made me want to check it out. So we finally checked it out the other day, and it is not. I've seen worse. Put it like that. I'll say this: I've seen plenty of movies with bad acting. That wasn't the big problem for me. I just hate how it's filmed. It's basically a Zoom camera movie. Like it's just Ice Cube going back and forth with people on cell phone video, Zoom calls, and things like that the whole time. And I saw another movie similar to that a couple of years ago, and that's just I hate that. It's such a lazy way to do a movie, in my opinion. They're using like obvious footage from old news clippings in order to, like, they're talking about, we just had a bunch of soldiers go into this portion of the world, and it's showing like footage of soldiers clearly like in Iraq or some shit like that. It's just lazy. It's lazy as hell, man. But It's not worth a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I wouldn't get. I've seen much
Have there
worse.
been many zeros on Rotten Tomato?
I feel like didn't a Tyler Perry? No, don't even want to say that because people don't think I'm picking on Tyler Perry. I feel like there was another movie that got that.
There's a couple zeros on there. Yeah, I can't remember
Really?
which ones, but yeah.
I mean,
Also,
a zero, like, do
Yeah,
you get
that's-
points for cinematography or like it's like that? It's like the SAT. Don't you get points for
That's-
citing your name?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure anything should get a 0, and I think it should be very rare, if ever, something should get 100. That's just me though. So a friend of ours made a post about the Red Dress Run in New Orleans, and for those of you that don't know, the Red Dress Run is a local charity run. It's 2 miles in New Orleans. And they raise money for, they're not specific on what charities, they just say local charities. So I assume charities in New Orleans. And basically people wear red dresses and they run 2 miles. And men wear red dresses as well. So we had a friend that called it gay, and a couple of people came for him on that. I just want to say it was gay. My problem is why is gay such a bad thing? Like, when are we going to get to the point where calling something gay? And listen, I don't want to speak for him. He may have meant it that way to be negative, but it's like automatically when you call something gay, people automatically think you're being homophobic and derogatory. No, it's gay for a man to wear a dress. That's just what it is. That's not.
It's LGBTQ, right? Like it's queer.
Yeah,
so
it's like gay is literally in their alphabets. You know what I'm saying?
Now that you made me think about it, maybe it's not.
Maybe
it's not.
Maybe. But so I wanted to put that out there, and also I saw other people saying, like, I saw very, very far, I guess, right comments calling it like they're always trying to find a way to emasculate black men and all that. First off, it's voluntary, so it's not emasculating. They're choosing to do that. Nobody's forcing them to go participate in this. So y'all need to dial it back.
And it's not only black men participating. So it's not emasculating black men. It literally is like that's part of it. And I've seen that with like the Red Shoe Run or the Pumps Run or a couple of others that, you know, I know people who have participated in those. And what they say is that I am secure enough in my manhood that I can do it and I'm raising money for a good cause. There are people that'll take a pot to the face and raise money. And that's supposed to be, you know, back in the day, that was like the biggest thing in the world, or, you know, the dunk contest or whatever. And so, you know, you embarrassing people by dunking them in the water or whatever. So it's like one of those things. That's what he's saying. It's like, I am taking that embarrassment so that I can raise money for this good cause. And so if I can raise $1,000 and take that heat, then I'm all for it. And so that's really how he looked at it. He was like, if they'll pay me to do that, I'll do that to raise that money for that good cause.
Yeah, and I think that was why I would say, like, you know what, now that you say it, I don't know if it's gay. I think, like, if that's something they do normally and that's their lifestyle, it's like, you know what, I'm supporting a cause. This is 364 and a half days of the year, I'm dressed like a heterosexual male for this cause, and the cause is to wear pink, the cause is to wear a dress, the cause is to wear this is the qualification for the cause to wear pumps. Because I believe in women's equality, I believe in breast cancer research, whatever it is, I'm going to do this. And you never know somebody's reason. You know, like it might be that, I don't know what the cause is, they have a deep connection to that and they're doing it. And some people are just trendy and it is what it is. But I wouldn't call it gay. I would call it like, they doing the most. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, honestly, you know, and don't do it.
I'm gonna let you finish, but it is gay. I mean, because like you're saying like because it's for this cause, but on a normal day.
But it's not a normal day.
Straight man.
It's not a normal. That's the point.
That's why it's
that's
gay.
The point. It's like
that's why it's gay.
Yeah.
For this period of
I think both.
And you're automatically making it bad.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying no.
Right.
But you're
nothing wrong to say it's gay. I think.
Yes.
I get what you're saying, Byron. It's gay, and almost like, you know, we talk about the N-word, right? Taking the power away when strippers call each other bitch and stuff like that, or girls call each other bitch. It's like let's call it what it is. It's gay. and that's fine. Like, you know what
No,
I mean? I
no,
think
no.
that's the part.
I'm not the person who wants to put a negative connotation with gay. What I'm saying is we're so quick because we don't know how else to label it. We're gonna automatically assume it. We're gonna use that word versus like it's.
I'm not saying they're
No, no.
gay. I'm saying if you saw
I saw
man
the
show up to your
So-
job,
when I saw the
if you
pictures.
saw a man,
So, Buff,
if you
to
saw
that
a man
question-
show up to your job in a dress,
Yeah,
You know
but-
exactly. Hold on. If I saw a man show up to a job, my job, in a red dress, like the hell, is he gay? But then there's another dude, and then I look up and it's 1,000 dudes. Hold on, this is because what's happening. Hold on, this is a situation. It's not the one dude. It's 1,000 dudes. Like this
I think
is.
you're missing the point. I know it's 1,000.
And what I'm saying is,
no.
so there's more to this. It's not just it's simple just to call it gay. It's like,
So
this is for the cause.
So Ferg, if 1,000 men kiss each other for charity, it's not gay. They didn't do something gay.
I don't think it's gay then. Kissing a dude, like I wouldn't kiss a dude.
So when it's for charity, it can't be gay. Why?
I'm not saying.
Why is it wrong for something to
I'm
be
not
gay
saying
for
it's
charity?
wrong.
That's
Then why are you defending?
What I'm saying is you're definitively wanting to say I'm going to stamp it as gay because I deem it as gay, whether it's good or bad. This is my definition of gay. This is not a normal circumstance. These are the qualifications for this situation. To participate in this fun run, you wear a red dress. This is the uniform for it. Like, if guys had to each other for charity, is it gay? Like, we can keep going. We can keep upping the ante. That's not the ante. The ante is like, hey, there's a red.
But it sounds like your answer is always no. It's not gay.
I'm saying in this case, we're talking about like you're trying. You to me, it seems like you're trying like how far can I'm trying to make him say it's gay. I'm trying to say.
I mean, it may be a halitosis awareness.
What I'm saying is
that wants to bring awareness to halitosis.
This is
and the men raise money by kissing, and it's like, oh man, like look at that. That's so funny because we've seen non-gay people kiss in movies before, and we don't say, hey, they're gay.
But
Denzel Washington had a kissing scene in Gladiator 2 that they eventually took out. But we wouldn't have said, oh, he's gay. But we would say what he did was gay.
Great. I don't remember that part. I had seen it. So they
took it out.
So the question is, was he kissing him? Hold on. Was he kissing him in a romantic way? Like this is like we're making out, or was it like in that time period, like I don't know. Do men kiss when they? That's the question.
Straight men don't kiss other men.
Whether
it's lovingly or not, bro.
When the time period they're talking about, when Denzel kissed him, was that acceptable?
There was such thing as gay in that time period. It doesn't matter was it acceptable or not. I'm asking was it gay?
Was that gay by our standards? What I'm saying is it was a norm. I don't know how greetings were. Like I'm saying if men kissed during a greeting back then. I'm saying was it just like was this the norm? Like when Buff sees Rozzy for the first time and they embrace, kiss, that's how they did it. Then that in 2000 gay, 14 AD, that's how men greeted each other. That wasn't gay. That's how men greeted each other. That wasn't gay in 14 AD.
This is turning into a question. It was gay, but gay is not bad, folks. It's okay for something to be gay and it not be like, ooh, don't call that gay. It's okay to be gay. Only other thing I got is shout out to Inspire You on air, the ladies. Mama Minifield. Also, I was drawing a blank for a second. Bambi, you guys had your 3rd annual Sisters for Life Wellness Expo, and I just want to give you a shout out. It brings from what I've seen, because Rozzy was lucky enough to attend it.
Yeah, you didn't go this year, right?
From what I've seen. Yeah, from what I've seen, it brings like awareness to women's health and wellness and things like that. So we had a show that dealt with a lot of opinions on women, but these 2 women, man, they're badasses, and I think that's a great thing they're doing down there. So I just want to give them a shout out to them, and just also shout out Inspire You on Air in general. Like check us out on Inspire You on Air, Contentville, and all other podcast platforms. That's all I got.
Love it. Couple things that I have, man. One is you talk about women empowering each other and doing great things. One thing I will tell you is don't cut off your dead husband's tattoo and frame it, because there was a woman in Texas, I think, that did that. She her husband died and she cut the tattoo off of him before she buried him, and they framed it and put it up there, and it was like, it's better than a piece of art.
Texas
whatever.
is so Florida right now.
Don't do that. So.
But wait a minute, why are you saying don't do it? Like, did something happen? No, it's just
Think
it's weird.
It's just weird. It's creepy. You got like dead human skin, hung up in your house, even if it is your dead spouse's tattoo or whatever. So,
and that's gonna deteriorate over time, right?
I don't know.
Did she preserve it?
They probably preserved it. I assume she preserved it. I mean, they got taxidermists or whatever, so I'm sure they did something. But that's just weird to have human.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. We keep ashes of people, so maybe people think that's just I don't know. It's definitely weird.
It's definitely weird. Don't do that. Don't do that. And for the anime lovers out there, if you are super into anime, oh yeah, I
watched my first 2 episodes of Black Clover. I started with Black Clover.
Okay.
What's the 2 characters? The 2
Asta,
brothers.
Asta and and
is it Euro?
Yuno.
Yeah. It's pretty dope, man. I'm gonna continue on with it.
Have they gone to the exams yet? Have they made it to the city and joined the exams? Or are they still in the little?
No, it's just the first 2 episodes where Asta like finally rose up and
he got his book. He got his book. So man, once he goes and man, it gets so good. So yeah, you're gonna love it.
It is anime, so there is with anime you have to accept a little bit of weirdness.
Yeah,
all anime has a little bit of weirdness. You're like, what the.
Yeah. So you're gonna love it though, man. If you're liking that so far, it gets even better. But if say you wanted to, the what is it? Not priest, but the nun that Asta is in love with or whatever. If you wanted her to call you at this point and just tell you good night or say she loved you or anything like that, there's a new service in Japan right now that you can pick anime characters and the actual voice actors will record messages and you can actually get phone calls from those characters. So any character in anime or generally that's offered by the service is called Moshi Moshi Pretty Cure. And so you can actually have them set up to call, your kids and or your spouse and be like, hey, good night, I love you, yada yada yada. So that's pretty dope from the anime lovers out there, and so the true weebs that want to hear Asta call them and be like, doing this or whatever. That's pretty cool. So just wanted to kind of let you guys know that's kind of a dope thing that's coming out over in Japan. And I don't know if it's going to happen here in the US, but they'll probably expand it as time goes by. So be on the lookout for that.
I was trying to see something, but yeah, not making that call. First of all, I want to say, welcome to Houston. Back, for all my Houstonians and people around the country, we're back at school. So this was the first week of school for my kids. TJ starting 1st grade, Skylar joining 5th grade. We talk about this every year when our kids go back to school. It's sad that we live in a world where that first day I get antsy just because knowing where we're at in this country and gun violence and dangers around the school. I always just think about, I just pray that my kids and the kids I love and I'm close to and kids around the country just stay safe. And it's something that I never thought about as a child, and it lets me know how far we've come or regressed as a society. My prayers go out for a safe year, that there is no shootings, there's none of these things that we've become so accustomed to. I'd rather pray today for safety than send our thoughts and prayers tomorrow. So that makes sense. And I think that's pretty much it, man. Last but not least, I want to thank everybody for all the unnecessary birthday wishes. I don't know what happened.
What's up with that, bro?
I don't know what happened. I think it was my account. One of my accounts is linked to one of my friends' accounts because I threw the lamplighters, I think.
Yeah, it was Fred's birthday too.
It was Fred's birthday, and so who's a listener and has been on the show before. I didn't even think about it being his birthday because when people started reaching out to me, my instant thought was I've been hacked. So the whole day I was trying to figure out what was going on. Were there any messages going out? I'm trying to go through my messenger to see if people were talking. I'm panicking.
Hey, Ferg, Rozzy owes you an apology too, because every time somebody wished you happy birthday, he couldn't wait to jump in there and say, it ain't that ninja birthday. He just lied to Facebook. He called you a liar.
Well, maybe
You said you
maybe
did it
that's
on
half
purpose.
my post, because I had probably 200 plus birthday something linked to the post on Facebook yesterday, and I'm like, man. And so, thank you for those that thought of me. Thank you for those who corrected those who thought of me, and screw you, Razi, for stealing my birthday wishes. You know, real pimps get 2 birthdays.
That's why I was like, maybe it's mid-year. He's trying to do a mid-year birthday.
No, I'm just in there. It started. Feek was the first person to reach me. I'm like, bro, why is it saying your birthday? I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just thinking it was a mistake. And then I start my text messages, my group me's, and then Facebook started blowing up. And I was with my manager yesterday, so I really couldn't dive too much into it. So the whole time I'm thinking, after I got about 100 plus messages, I'm like, hey, dude, I got to see if I've been hacked. Because, you know, when you get your social media hacked, that can lead to so many different things.
Yeah.
So I was really nervous, and it took to me about 3:30, 4 o'clock to realize it was Fred's birthday. And like, oh yeah, we shared this Lamplighter account, and somehow that might have gotten connected or whatever. So thank you for the birthdays. I wasn't trying to do anything nefarious. I'm not seeking attention and changing my birthday. Not that talented. So with that being said, 3 Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.